So part of Feedback Fence's old strength is being able to put up a barricade and then like mind your own business and snipe, and if somebody looked at you like you're a snack, they would walk through your barricade and punch you, and then they would die. But since Bungie murdered Feedback Fence, you now have to punch somebody. And let me first take off Spark of Instinct, because that will combo to kill. This is one of the few builds that are remaining with Feedback Fence. Now you have to be involved and punch them to get 2 armor charges. Since the Arc playstyle was semi-dead, I had to find a new solution. To my surprise, that solution was in PvE, thanks to Error's video that got me up to speed on Feedback Fence really quickly. Check the description below for a PvE version of making this exotic really strong. So the idea is use Howl of the Storm to put a row of crystals out and Tectonic Harvest to replenish your melee, which creates an infinite loop. And by collecting the crystals, I get Font of Vigor activated, which gives me 10 strength. Then I get extra armor charges by stacks on stacks and elemental charge. And if all is said and done, this is what it looks like. Use Fighting Lion, break your row, collect it, and that same scenario I had at the beginning where I'm off minding my own business with the snipe, and she comes in to punch me, the original Feedback Fence works. But we can do it one better. We can be a little offensive with it. So for argument's sake, let's say I didn't have my nade. It's going to be self-sufficient here. Look at the bottom left of the screen. Improved ability regeneration. I want to save this last crystal right until it says 1 second to help me recharge my nade and try to min-max it. Now I have 2 armor charges and I almost have my melee back. So the idea is I now have 15 seconds to find a one-hit opportunity for my melee where I run at somebody and then they like reactively melee and then they just die. So that's the build in a nutshell and why I think it can enable and kind of revive the Fighting Lion playstyle, since Feedback Fence, once again, can be a pocket shotgun. They're both together. The better Armadillo Man. This is why this build is stupid. This is why this was nerfed, by the way, because if you think about it, you didn't have to do anything. You could just put up a barricade and, like, you're done. This requires some build crafting. I'm not saying I like it better, but it's definitely more balanced. It's just the other exotics in this game have to follow suit. Oh, that was so clean. So at the heart of this build, what puts Feedback Fence back online is the Elemental Charge Leg Armor mod. By collecting stasis shards, it gives me armor charges, which then allow Feedback Fence to retaliate my opponent's melees. To create an infinite loop, I'm using Howl of the Storm with Tectonic Harvest, so my melee turns into a row of crystals, break crystals to create shards, collect shards to replenish melee. When I have an armor charge, it adds 3 tiers of strength with Font of Vigor, so now I have 10 strength. And I followed that trend with the Font of Endurance on my chest piece to get 10 resilience, Font of Restoration to get 10 recovery, and Font of Wisdom to get to 9 intellect. And if I really wanted to, I could also ditch the reloader and go for Font of Focus so I could have 10 discipline too, but I don't find that that's the bottleneck of this playstyle, and I much prefer Void Loader assuming it works with Fighting Lion. I have 2 charged up. You are going to forego unflinching on this build, which is why I don't really recommend it with a traditional double primary setup, but you can do it, especially with perfect float weapons like the Round Robin. So what you could do is use a Round Robin with perfect float and kill clip, and then you could have 2 surges so that instead of having to use that many bullets, you just use 2. At a 0.5 TTK, by the way. And then you also have the Nano Rocket for the next killer too. So I think Round Robin is your best double primary setup with this. The snipe that I prefer is Defiance of Yasmin, looking something like this. And that's just because I'm used to 40 zoom right now, and that could probably change in the future. There's also a Stasis Snipe with Overflow and Snapshot. Sorry, I didn't have this one ready. Thoughtless, that was the name of it. Funny enough. So yeah, Overflow Snapshots, you can play more aggressive with your Snipe Lion, and the zoom is at 46. Otherwise, I have Void Siphon to create an orb on double kills, which contributes to my armor charges. Kinetic targeting, so I can have more accuracy and ADS speed with my sniper. Remember, if you shoot Fighting Lion, Chimera activates, and it gives more handling and accuracy to your other gun. So I put Freehand Grip on the sniper, so it is extra sticky. Double charged up, so as I collect my armor charges, I have more to work with and more time to wait for that perfect opportunity to strike. Or, if I'm double primarying, I can have more opportunities to 2-tap with Round Robin. And then, of course, Reaper mod, so I can use my barricade to blow up crystals. And then after getting a kill, it will guaranteed create an orb, which can give me a chunk of my health back with recuperation. Get this one, just so you can see it. Didn't mention my power weapon. I pretty much just use this to know if somebody's close to me with invis. It's an okay grenade launcher. So I almost forgot to talk about weapons that pair very well with a team of behemoth that can supply stasis shards to activate the collective action perk. One thing to mention is that on a weapon like Kept Confidence, 80.18 damage is not enough to 3-tap a 10 resilience Titan with an overshield. I have the armor charge and collective. Yeah, just shy. I already talked about Round Robin. The next one to consider is Horror Story from the next seasonal event. Unending Tempest can be obtained from the Crucible. Gutshot Straight with collective action gives you a very healthy precision ratio and a fast time to kill. Cold Denial is one that I use for Swashbuckler since this is a melee build, and I think the best weapon overall, shout out to Cool Guy, this is what he uses on his Radiant Hunter, so maybe he'll try a Behemoth with me one of these days. Collective Action, Abyss Defiant, Double Surge, gives you a 0.67 with some crazy range drop-off. That's 120 range, but 0.67 TTK. I think this is the winner right here if you can build into some form of anti-flinch. I think Zen Moment can help, but you're gonna need more to deal with 120s. So I also was curious if Malicious Birthright could one-hit. It didn't. 181. For the rest of this video, please enjoy some full gameplay. That was the experimental version of this build before I realized how I could min-max it better, the one that you see today. It was just like stream highlights. So, enjoy. So anytime Trials gameplay is featured on the channel, I want to remind people that it is mostly my casual playlist. It's where I go with experimental builds. I don't care if I win. I'm just playing to rush these interactions and learn more. And I imagine my opponents are probably doing the same. Four seconds on my armor charge. Send it. Yeah, I need time dilation on this. There are many crystals like this, but this is my crystal. Whoa, surprise Jotun. Sparks are flying in this heated match. Oh, yo, you stopped him, kind of. I love that the Jotun's in here while I'm using this stupid build. It's just like, it fits the theme. This is like how I imagine casual Destiny PvP, like, greatest battles are. They wrote about this one at Twilight Gap. I needed the snipe out. The lion was too ambitious. The snipe is instant. Neither foe is conceding an inch. Nah, no revive. I am actively getting better at this build every time I play it. Oh, that drilled the weak spot. Except it's like a low-res voice. Why not use a weapon with collective? That's the end goal with this build, for sure. It's a double primary. I'm just sniping because my chat suggested it. I don't actually think it's better for carrying teammates. It's better in threes, but not when you have no idea what to expect from your opponents and your teammates. Well, we're sending it. I told you, they wrote about these in Twilight Gap. They're like, in the Battle of B flag, Armadillo Man died to the Jotun. But he may have lost the battle, but he did not lose the war. Yo, team, let me cook, I promise. Armadillo Man's back! They're basically putting cooldowns on my playstyle. I need other behemoths. Dude, my last teammates left me. They left me when that was my win condition. So sad. Oh, yes, the heal. Laser it. My shotgun. Try not to rip your cover.